What would happen if every NHL team suddenly had to name a new team captain, and what player would they choose? So for today's video, I'm going to go through all 31 NHL teams and pick a new team captain. And this is completely subjective, there is no right or wrong answers, so make sure to let me know who you guys would pick for each team down in the comment section below. And if you guys have been enjoying the content lately, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to turn on notifications so that you never miss a video. Starting the video off with the Anaheim Ducks, my pick for their new captain would be Adam Henrique. Now Getzlaf is the current captain and has been for a long time and has done a fantastic job in that role, but if for some reason they had to name a new captain, they would have a lot of really good players to choose from. Guys like Hampus Lindholm, Cam Fowler, Rickard Rakell, and Adam Henrique I think would all make great captains. Next up we have the Arizona Coyotes, and my pick is Derek Stepan. Now their current captain is Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and he's going to be their captain for a very long time, but if things had to change, I would go with Derek Stepan. He's a veteran player, he's been around the league a long time, and just a solid all-around leader, and I think he would do a great job as captain. Next up we have the Boston Bruins, and I know earlier in the video I said there was no right or wrong answers, but for the Bruins you gotta go with Patrice Bergeron. Now Zdeno Chara has done a fantastic job as captain, but he's most likely going to retire over the next 1 to 2 seasons, and Patrice Bergeron is obviously going to be the guy that takes over as captain. He's one of the best leaders in the league and has never even worn the C. Moving on now to the Buffalo Sabres, my pick is Rasmus Dahlin. Now obviously Jack Eichel is the current captain and is going to be the captain for a very long time, but if things had to change, why not give it to your other young superstar who's also going to be there for a very long time and be one of the faces of the franchise. For the Calgary Flames, my pick is Tkachuk. Now they currently have Mark Giordano serving as captain, but he is getting up there in age, and over the next couple of seasons they're most likely going to have to name a new captain, and I think Matthew Tkachuk would be the perfect guy to take on that honor. He's a good all-around player and he does whatever it takes to win night in and night out. Next up we have the Carolina Hurricanes, and my pick for their new captain would be Jaccob Slavin. Now they currently have Jordan Staal as captain after Justin Williams stepped away from the game this past summer, and while I feel like the popular pick for them will be Sebastian Aho, I'm going with Jaccob Slavin. I feel like he's one of the more underrated defensemen in the NHL and is already a fantastic leader and would make a perfect captain for them. For the Chicago Blackhawks, my pick is Duncan Keith. Now, they currently have one of the better leaders in the NHL, Captain Serious Jonathan Toews, but if for some reason they had to make a change there, I think Duncan Keith would be the perfect guy to take on that honors, and there would be some other good options as well. I'm sure a guy like Patrick Kane would be a popular answer too. Next up we have the Colorado Avalanche, and my pick for their new captain would be Nathan MacKinnon. Now, Gabe Landeskog is currently the captain and has done a really good job after he was kind of thrown into it at such a young age, but if they did have to make a change there, I don't think they would hesitate in giving Nathan MacKinnon the C, and he'd be a great pick. Moving along now to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and my pick for their new captain would definitely be Seth Jones. Now, Nick Foligno is their current captain, and I feel like over the next couple of years, they definitely will be naming someone new, and I feel like 100% that guy will be Seth Jones, and that'll be the right choice as well. For the Dallas Stars, this was an easy choice for me. I would go with Joe Pavelski. Now, their current captain is Jamie Benn, and he's probably going to be the captain for a while, but if they had to make a change, I think Pavelski would be the perfect guy to give it to. He's already been a captain with San Jose and is a fantastic leader. Next up we have the Red Wings, and they currently don't have a captain, and it's gonna be Dylan Larkin. I'm not quite sure what they're waiting for, just give Larkin the C already. For the Edmonton Oilers, my pick for their new captain would be Leon Draisaitl, but obviously he's never gonna get the chance to be captain as long as he's an Oiler. That's gonna be with Connor McDavid for the next decade, and I think Leon Draisaitl, if he was a captain, would make a pretty good one, as he seems like a great leader already at such a young age. For the Florida Panthers, my pick would be Vincent Trocheck. This one might not be popular. I feel like a lot of people will go with Jonathan Huberdeau, Keith Yandel, Aaron Ekblad, and while Barkov is the current captain and will be for a long time, I also think Vincent Trocheck would make a great leader. He's super underrated and carries himself very well. Next up we have the LA Kings, a very easy pick here. It would have to be Drew Doughty. Now, Kopitar is the current captain and is a fantastic captain at that, but if they did have to make the change, Drew Doughty would be the perfect guy. He's on a very long contract, is going to be there for a long time, and has already been one of their best players in franchise history. For the Minnesota Wild, my pick would definitely be Ryan Suter. Now, Mikko Koivu is a fantastic fantastic leader, a great captain for them, but over the next couple years, I think he probably will retire eventually, and they will have to make a change, and for me, I think that guy will 100% be Ryan Suter. For the Montreal Canadiens, this was another pretty easy one. I 100% would go with Brendan Gallagher. Shea Weber is the current captain, and while he is a very good captain, I also think Brendan Gallagher would make a fantastic leader for this team. He's a heart and soul guy. He's gonna do whatever it takes to win night in and night out, and he's having a pretty fantastic year so far. Next up, we have the Nashville Predators, and I think my pick would be Ryan Ellis, but this one was kind of tough. There'd be a lot of really good options, guys like Matt Duchene potentially, Ryan Johansson, Philip Forsberg, Matthias Ekholm, and while Yossi is going to be the captain for a very long time, there is a lot of other really good leaders on this team. For the New Jersey Devils, my pick would be former #1 overall pick Nico Hischier. I would definitely go with Taylor Hall if his future wasn't so uncertain, but since we really don't know what the future holds for him, I'm going to go with Nico Hischier, who's already super young, going to be here for a very long time, and has already turned himself into a great all-around player. Moving on now to the New York Islanders, my pick would definitely be Matthew Barzal. Anders Lee is the current captain, and he's done a pretty good job with that honor so far, but if they had to make a change, I think Matthew Barzal would be the perfect guy to step in and take over as the leader of this team. He's super young, he's the franchise cornerstone, and carries himself very well on and off the ice. Next up, yet another team that currently doesn't have a captain, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Mika Zibanejad. I feel like if it was Panarin, they would have given it to him already, so I don't really know what they're waiting for. Just give Zibanejad the C already. Moving on now to another team without a captain, and my pick is Thomas Chabot. They might go with Brady Tkachuk, or they could even go with a veteran player, but I feel like eventually, when it's all said and done, they're gonna give it to Thomas Chabot. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Flyers, and my pick for them is 100% Sean-Couturier. Claude Giroux is the current captain and has done a fantastic job, but I feel like Sean-Couturier would also make an amazing captain. What I look for in a captain is I like them to be a solid two-way player as well, and I feel like Sean-Couturier is one of the best two-way centermen in the NHL. I think he'd make a fantastic captain for Philadelphia one day. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, it would have to be Evgeni Malkin, wouldn't it? I mean, Sidney Crosby has been a fantastic captain, but I feel like if Malkin was on like 25 other teams in the NHL, he probably would have already been captain, but since he plays with Sidney Crosby, that isn't the case. But if for some reason the Pittsburgh Penguins did have to name a new captain, I don't think they would hesitate in giving it to Evgeni Malkin. The dude's a Hall of Famer, an amazing player, a great guy on and off the ice. I think he would make a great captain. Moving along now to the San Jose Sharks, and my pick would definitely be Erik Karlsson. You could go Brent Burns here, or a young guy like Timo Meier or Thomas Hertl, and while Logan Couture is a fantastic captain and is going to be their captain for the foreseeable future, if they did ever have to make a change, I think Erik Karlsson would be the perfect guy to take over as captain. He's already served numerous years for captain of the Ottawa Senators, was a great leader with them, and I see no reason why he wouldn't be a great leader with the San Jose Sharks as well. Next up, we have the defending champs, the St. Louis Blues, and my pick would 100% be Ryan O'Reilly. Obviously, Pietrangelo is currently their captain, and he's a very good captain at that, but I feel like on a lot of other teams in the NHL, Ryan O'Reilly would already be the captain. He seems like a great leader. He was fantastic for them throughout the entire playoffs, and Alex Pietrangelo is an up-and-coming unrestricted free agent, and maybe you never know, he could sign a contract somewhere else, and then the chances of O'Reilly becoming captain are very likely. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, my pick would 100% be Victor Hedman, but if they had to change captains, I feel like they would have a pretty tough decision, because they also have guys like Nikita Kucherov, guys like Ryan McDonough, who was a captain before, and young players like Braden Point, who you could also name captain, but in my opinion, I think it would definitely be Victor Hedman, one of the best defensemen in the NHL, carries himself very well, and is obviously an important part of this team who's going to be there for a very long time. Moving on to the Leafs, pretty easy decision here. It would probably be Auston Matthews, as it seemed to have came down to Tavares and Matthews on deciding who would eventually be the captain, and while Tavares is a fantastic captain, I feel like one day if Matthews spends his entire career with the Leafs, he will eventually wear the C. Moving on now to the Canucks, who just recently named Bo Horvat captain, and while I definitely think that was the right choice, if I had to pick someone else, I definitely think I would go with Elias Pettersson. He already seems very mature at such a young age and is the face of the franchise, so if they had to make a switch, why not just give it to Pettersson? Next up for Vegas, a team that currently doesn't have a captain, I would 100% give it to Mark Stone. He's locked up long term, he's a great all-around player, a great leader. I honestly don't really know why they didn't give it to him already. Moving on now to the Capitals, and I think this is kind of a similar situation to what it is in Pittsburgh, where Nicholas Backstrom, if he was on numerous other teams in the league, probably would have already been a captain, but since he plays with Ovi, that is not the case. And while yes, I definitely think Ovechkin is the right captain for this team, if for some reason I had to make a change, Nicholas Backstrom would without a doubt be the right choice to take over. And now finishing out the video with the Winnipeg Jets, my pick for their new captain would 100% be Mark Scheifele, and while Blake Wheeler is is definitely one of the better leaders in the league. He is a little bit older, and one day they will have to name a new captain, and I think 100% when that day comes, it'll be Mark Scheifele. So that does wrap up today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said, this is completely subjective, so if you disagree with any of my picks, make sure to let me know who you would pick down in the comment section below. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for daily NHL content, and I will see you guys all in the next video.